Hey everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Anika and I'm your host today. I am really excited to be joining here live streaming from Toronto, Canada. If you are watching this anywhere in the world, let me know in the chat. We have both YouTube and Behance right here. This is where my chat is. So if you're going to say anything during the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be looking at you. And I want your comments because today we're going to use GenFill in the Adobe Photoshop beta. I think I want to start by showcasing how to get the Photoshop beta. So let's jump over to my screen. This is the Creative Cloud desktop app. You go to apps, and I think this is where you find it. This is where you find it. This is the beta apps. And right over here on top, since I have Photoshop beta already installed, you will see that it says up to date and you can open it, or unless if you haven't, then you can go onto the desktop apps panel and get any of these beta apps. For today's purposes though, we're going to use the Photoshop beta app, so why don't we jump into it? But I actually want to say hi to everyone, so let's say hi. What, I forgot about that. All right, so Peter, Umagon, Frank, Sam, Steve, Clever, Robert, Sean, oh my god, all the friends, thank you so much for joining. Let me know if you have any questions throughout the next 25 minutes. We're going to be talking about branding mockups using GenFill. I'm really excited about this. I did some tinkering around in Photoshop and I'm excited. But this is the brand that we're working with. Just to give you a quick start about the branding mockups, I created this green tea matcha brand called Green Tea Matcha. And we're creating this. This is a logo. This is like another lockup. We have some of these things going on. And for our purposes, I actually put them in a Creative Cloud library. For those of you who don't know how a Creative Cloud library is made, you can go up to your window in Adobe Illustrator and open up libraries, which is already open for me. I created this library, I added some colors, I added all the logo lockups, but I am going to create mockups now. So I think the first thing that I think about when it comes to mockups is, what is the brand imagery like? What is the kind of feeling that I want to invoke in the audience when I say mockups or any kind of brand imagery? So I've created these artboards in Photoshop beta. These are all 1920 by 1080. And I just created these blank artboards because I wanted to create more than one mockup. I am going to go select the marquee tool and select the background here. And this is going to pop up my Generative Fill toolbar. Now, I think when I associate matcha, green tea, whatever, I think about farming, I think about tea, I think about grasslands. So I'm going to put in terrace farming. Let's see what comes up. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if there are any questions in chat. All right, nothing as of now, but I'm open to your recommendations as well if you have any for me. Like, what invokes green tea matcha for you? Okay, I think I'm not mad about that, but that's not what I'm looking for. That's that's not what I was expecting. All right, let's generate more. Let's generate more things. Andrew in the chat says, love Generative Fill. Okay. We have some fans in the chat. I love that. Have you guys used Generative Fill for any of the branding mockups yet? Or are you planning on? I would love to know. Okay. I don't hate them, but maybe I'll use this one. Okay. And what if I just write terrace farming and then grasslands? I just want to see what comes up. I want it to be more green and more like an aerial shot. So maybe the next time I write aerial terrace farming, we'll see what comes up. I feel like the one thing that you have to remember with any kind of generative fill, be it like in Firefly or be it in Photoshop beta, is to experiment and see what really fits your style and what really fits the brand that you're working with. Since this is a personal project and since I know that Photoshop beta cannot be used for commercial purposes, it's all right to experiment in this case. And I'm just doing that right now. Okay, none of these are working for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and write aerial shot of terrace farming. And it's not necessary that Photoshop beta will generate the same output every single time you create something, because the machine is constantly learning from the input that you and I are putting into the database. So it's going to be different. It can be different. So don't be surprised by that. Okay, this is not actually, oh, this is actually a good one. I actually like this. I was actually looking for something like this. Maybe if I generate more, it's going to do something. Let's do one more. We're being ambitious today. Okay. Valder in chat says, I found out last week that we can use it in video in order to extend static backgrounds. Now I cannot stop using it. Yeah, I think this was another Adobe live stream by Evan Abrams and Kyle, and they showcased how to do this. Okay, I think I do really like this one. So I'm going to go with that. And now I really love ice cream. And I really think that ice cream is one thing that really resonates with a lot of my audience that I'm creating for this fictional brand. So I'm going to go ahead and create something like a hand holding a waffle cone with ice cream in it. So let's select something, maybe something like here, or maybe I want it to be bigger. So I'm going to select this area. And remember, whatever area you're selecting with your marquee tool or polygonal lasso, anything that you're doing to make a selection, that whole area will be generated with whatever prompt you're giving it. So I'm going to go click here and say hand holding um waffle cone. If I can spell correctly, is that waffle? I can't tell. That might be waffle. Waffle cone ice cream. Okay, let's see. Let's see what comes up. Cross your fingers. I hope this comes up to be really good. I haven't experimented with hands a lot, and I know a lot of AI tools struggle with that currently. Okay, well, I am actually not mad about that at all. That's actually pretty great. That was kind of the result I was expecting. I was expecting like a double scoop, but we'll do with what we have. Layers panel here. I'm gonna expand that a little bit. This is artboard one, and I had the background layer, which is just blank. And this was the first layer that was generated, which was the terrace farming thing, the aerial shot of terrace farming. And then we have this matcha, and you can see that it kind of like changed the background to accommodate the fact that there's an ice cream in there. Okay, generate quadruple scoop, please. That's gonna take a while. We can do that manually, but we're not about that today. So what I want to do is also add some background, like some overlaid text on top. So I can do that by going to my libraries here in Photoshop because I created a library in Illustrator called Green Tea Matcha. It's also available for me here. With that said, I'm gonna close my Illustrator just to not overwhelm my machine. I have this here, and I have some of these logo lockups that I created, but also this your everyday essential. I can just click and drag it out here. Okay, I'm gonna make a smart object, which I will. All right. I have this here. I'm gonna press Command D to transform, and I can make it bigger or smaller. You can scale it up, and I can place it anywhere. Now, this is not legible at all because the contrast is really bad over here because it's like light on light, and you want to make sure that your text is legible when you're doing anything like this. A simple thing would be thinking about your composition when you're creating anything like a mockup here. In this case, I didn't want the clouds to be like really bad when it comes to like the waffle cone and whatever. So I just place the ice cream over here. But you can go ahead and replace this with the text that you want. The one thing that I want to do here um, before we move on to the next thing is that I want to add like, oh my god, I didn't mean to do that. I just like totally removed my generated layer. That's not what you wanted to do. Okay, I want to select this ice cream cone to match my brand color. So I'm going to go to select and I'm going to be on my ice cream layer, which is the waffle cone. I'm going to go to select and maybe like find a color range or something. And maybe I'll select this guy and we'll see what selection comes up or something like so. Yeah, or maybe I can actually use the object selection. Why don't we do that? So I'm going to use the object selection tool, which is just W on your keyboard. You can essentially go in here, or you can also do a quick selection. I think the quick selection might work well for us. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit to see if there's anything. I'm going to decrease the brush size, hold option to like delete from the selection. So I'm doing that option if you're on a Mac or alt if you're on a Windows device. And I have this. Okay, and I actually really like this. I'm going to press Command J and hope that it works. Yeah, there we go. So here we have this, and I think now I want to change the colors. So maybe I'm going to colorize it, change the hue and saturation, and that's where you can make it your own and match your brand colors. I feel like I want to do like a hue and saturation adjustment layer. So I'm going to go to hue and saturation and then maybe colorize it a little bit to like greens. This is not what we want because we don't want it on every single layer. So I want to create a clipping mask on it, right click, and you have a clipping mask. Now I do want to change it a little bit more. So I can go ahead, and this is all editable. So you can go in here and change the saturation perhaps. Maybe you want it a little bit green, and now you can go back and compare. So just to give you a head start of how to generate brand imagery, this is like a great example. think about what resonates with your audience depending on the brand that you're creating. I feel like the brand and the target audience that I have for green tea matcha is youthful, and they really like ice cream, they like going out, they like hiking. So all of these things will interest them and immediately attract them to my brand. I am gonna go to my libraries and maybe add like something else here, like a logo. Matcha mint chip. Yes, that's what we're looking for. There you go. It's already resonating with the audience, and I love to see it. Okay, maybe I'll just add this one just to showcase how you can add things here, and it's also legible. So I feel like that works for us. So here we go. We have our first brand image. We created this in less than 10 minutes, and I love that you can do this with Genfill. Moving on, I'm going to look at chat just to make sure that if there are any recommendations or suggestions, I'm taking them into consideration. Let's see here. All right. Okay, we're good for now. But if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, and the next thing, I feel like the one thing that all the brand designers make is stationery. And the one thing that all the clients need is stationery. So we're going to generate stationery. Okay, we're going to generate stationery. All right, let's select the selection tool. And maybe I want to go to my layers panel here. And I'm going to go to artboard 2 because that's where we are. I am going to add like a solid color layer. So maybe I'll add like a light gray sort of a color here, maybe a little bit lighter over here just to have that color in there. All right. My favorite ice cream flavor is actually mint chocolate chip. So yeah. Thank you, Chad, for asking. All right. So we have this, which is like the gray background color. And I think what I want to do now is create business cards. Now you can use the marquee tool. Any of these shapes work, but I'm just going to use the rectangular marquee tool to make like business cards. I am going to go ahead and hold shift on my keyboard to be like so. And then maybe perhaps I'll make like another selection and hold shift while you do it so you can get two selections. I didn't quite do that the first time. So we have these two. And I know this is not quite the standard business card size, but we can go ahead and make edits later. So I feel like we'll do that then. I want to say blank business cards. Let's see how that works. Blank business cards. All right. Okay. Sam in the chat also loves mint chip. So love that. Yeah. You can do two separate boxes. Whoa, I was not expecting this. Okay, that's actually not that bad at all. I actually love that. This is actually my favorite. I love that the prompt and the Genfill is actually using the background color. And now I can go ahead and change the colors of the text. But this also means that it's very in sync. I love that it looks so cohesive here. And it also generated the shadows. So I don't have to go ahead and like use layer styles to generate a drop shadow. But if it was a terrible output that I did not expect, I could have gone to my layer styles and changed the drop shadow, which I feel like Generative Fill is really learning a lot these days. I mean, right? Okay, I am also going to go ahead. I lost my mouse to my iPad. Here we go. All right. I am going to go ahead and maybe make like something fancy here. So let's go ahead and make like a eucalyptus. Eucalyptus? Sorry if you can hear noises in the background. Sorry about that, but we have eucalyptus branch right here. Love it. Robert says, I have to note that generative fill works better on transparent background if you will make a background go from there. Yeah, I feel like it's whoa, that's actually a great result. I was not expecting it to be so good, but okay, this one you can tell that this is not part of this. This is not supposed to be here. But I feel like the first two are really good. It has cut off some of the shadow here, so maybe we can fix that later. Fix it in post. I do like this one. Maybe I'll generate some more and see what comes up. We're 14 minutes in, so we're good for now. Let's see. Let's see if you have any questions. Generative is learning a lot these days. Yeah. Okay. I think I like the subtle shadows more just because they work for this kind of like setting that I'm creating. I feel like I want the business cards to be just a little bit zoomed in because right now they feel very tiny for the composition that we have. So I think the scale is still sort of an issue while using Genfill. I'm going to see what it actually generated by removing the background. Okay, great tip by Robert in chat. This is why I love live streams because like the community comes together, we talk about our experiences when we talk about how someone experienced something and how it worked. So great tip there by Robert says, who says that use a transparent background that might work better for you. but I did actually want the cohesiveness. So maybe I'll just like experiment with size. I'm going to make a copy of this layer just so that I have the original. And then I'm going to press Command T or Control T on my keyboard and see if I can actually bring this up. Okay, it's not actually bad. It's actually working in my favor. So I have this here. And then I can press Command J again and bring this up just a little bit like so. Yeah. And I can go into my mask, make a selection, remove this guy from here, take my brush, black conceals, white reveals. I'm going to conceal this guy from here. And then I'm going to go in here. I'm gonna oh, what are words? I'm gonna go in here and delete this guy as well. So I have this now, and I feel like it looks pretty cool because I have these business cards, but where's the content? What are these business cards you're talking about? I don't see anything. So to do that, you're essentially making your own mock-up in this case. And I feel like I want to add a smart object here so that in the future, if someone else is using this file, it is non-destructible. And all of these things are like super important to consider when you're making something like this, because this is probably not the only time you're going to use this, and you want to think about the future self, right? So you want to come back to a file that's non-destructible if you wanted to make some changes. Think about you. I do want to address something in chat. Ryan says, is this superior format for business card square? No, it is actually not, but I feel like it was just like something unique and different, and I feel like I really like that approach. So yeah, why not? Okay, so this is business card one, this is two. I am gonna go ahead make like a square shape, and it is really hard for me to see because it's like the same background color, but we're gonna attempt to make like a square in here. Is this a square? Yeah, here we go. Okay, and did get the color, and that's the rectangle one that we got. We have this in here, and I'm gonna convert it to a smart object, which we did now. And once you double click into it, this is what it was. And you can go in here and add your actual business card design, which can be seen from the libraries. I think I made one. I'm not really sure if I did. Let me see if I actually ended up making something. I think I want to add like a color to it. So maybe this is the color that we want. That's a weird thing that happened there. Okay. Here we go. Expand it to the whole background. And then I maybe want to add like data to it. So maybe this is the artwork that we wanted. Whoa, that's super pixelated. Looks super pixelated, but we'll see. We'll see. And once you've done this and you've added all your essential information into your business card, which is essentially the logo on one side, here we go. Ta-da! We have one side of the business card already ready to go. I feel like this was so quick and easy. And again, if you have any questions, we're 18 minutes in. Let me know if you want to learn more about this. All right, so we have one side ready to go, but I do want to create the actual detail where the contact information goes. So just like how we did in the first case, I'm going to do this again because I know I'm going a little bit faster. It's only like a 25-minute stream, so there is limited amount of time. If you are watching this on replay though, I want to say that there's a button down there that you can turn on subtitles if you're having difficulty understanding, or you can also lower the speed. So make sure to lower the speed, watch it at your own pace. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I look at these videos timely so I can address your questions. And I'm going to do this one more time before we move forward with the next one. I'm going to create a rectangle here. I'm going to zoom in again like so and hold shift to make like a perfect square, which is right here. And then I'm going to go to my layers panel and create a smart object, which is right here. Also, I know that chat did not tell me, but please save your work. Save your work. Save your work, guys. If you're lurking, save your work. All right. I do want to add like some information here. I am gonna go to libraries and see if I did actually end up doing it. Yeah, floppies in chat. I love that. 90s kids would know, or earlier. I mean, yeah. Let's see. Do we have information here? Yeah, we do. Okay, here we go. Here's some information for you. We have, I think should be a little bit bigger. We'll see. Also think about like these are not the final designs. I'm just making this for demonstration purposes. So think about the print and the margin and how much margin do you want to make for this? What's the safe area? Thinking about all those things is important when it comes to something like this. I think I want this color, but it's like too light, too I think the saturation is too high for this. I'm going to decrease the saturation just like so. And I don't think it did anything. Did it do anything? So weird. Didn't do anything. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to decrease the saturation just like so. Press Command S or Control S. I do have this outline here, so I'm going to go in here and select this guy and bring it, like make it bigger, center it, save it again, and we have it right over here. All right. So these were the two things that we created. The brand imagery looks super cool. We have the business card design over here as well. And this actually turned out better than I first tried it. And I'm so proud of this. Like, I actually was helping in teaching the model how to do this. So we have about 5 minutes left today, and I want to make something else as well. Maybe I want to demonstrate how content aware also comes into picture. So I'm going to grab this image that I got from Unsplash, which is like a stock website, which is right here. This is the image that we have, and I want to press enter. This is on artboard 3 now, and I want to showcase how you can extend an image using generative fill. So go ahead, select your marquee, select some part of the image that you have selected, hold shift because you want to make another selection, which is also part of this design. And right now, you only want to extend that image to be like a landscape image. And I feel like a lot of us as creators face this every day. We're going to convert an image and we only took a portrait mode because you're thinking about social media. But now you can make it landscape. So click on generate, no prompt necessary, and it's going to generate some results for you. All right. Love it. Save your work. Yeah. Thank you, PJ. Love that. Oh my God, that actually looks pretty cool. Did I not select this area? I wonder if I didn't select it. I did actually select it. Oh, that is fascinating. Okay, so since this is not what I was expecting, this is a great thing. I intended to do this. No, I didn't. These are like the feedback options that you have in this bar, and you can see there's a good result, there's a bad result, or you can flag it if you wanted to report it. This is not the result I was expecting in the sense that this area is not filled. You can go back and say, hey, this is a bad result. And this will help the team understand that, oh, this is not what the user was expecting. This is how we can improve it. I'm going to click generate one more time just to see how it works. And since we have very less time today, I'm going to leave it at that. I did actually want to create an iPhone mockup. So maybe I can just like write iPhone and see what comes up if like we have time. Okay, that's not actually bad. Maybe I can just expand the image at the end. All right, I don't know why it's doing this. That is so weird. Let's just go with the first one. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. And now I'm going to go ahead and write an iPhone just because I wanted to see how, like, okay, let's just say phone flat lay. I feel like these are some keywords that you should remember that, oh, here's a flat lay image or a top down view or an aerial. So these things kind of help you understand how it works. Okay. Yeah, Ryan is right. It might be referencing, that's actually a great result. Ryan in the chat says, I think it's referencing the white of your artboards being white on either side. You're right about that. Yeah, I think, yes, that's actually what's happening. But this is a huge, like, I think this is great that this mockup turned out so well. Like, I literally just selected a square or rectangular, if you're particular, and wrote in phone flat lay. So if you want to generate your own phone mockups, this is like a great way to do it. I will say though, the scale is still kind of wonky. I did want to make it bigger. So maybe I want to make like a bigger selection. The scale in this case is a little weird. I'm going to experiment one more thing. Maybe I just want to experiment with scale and see what comes up. I'm going to write the same exact thing and see if that actually helps with the scale. This time I'm not selecting like a square thing, but let's see if this comes up. We only have about a couple of minutes left. So this is all we'd have to cover today. That actually doesn't look terrible. I mean, we can edit this. But with that said, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Anika. Thank you for being here on Adobe Live. We use GenFill in the Photoshop beta to create some branding mockups. I will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, to use Adobe Express and show you how to make your portfolio pop. Yes, I said it, friends. All right, I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye for now.